as far as welfare is concerned, as growth. The stethoscope you use in measuring the heartbeat of an elephant, for example, China, cannot be the same one you use to measure the heartbeat of a rat. Smaller countries, I won't call any country a rat. Do you understand? Leave that aside. Let's come back to Nigeria and speak about what is happening in our streets, in our villages, in our markets. These people have not done any bold step. The only bold thing they did was to shut down IREV. The only bold thing they did was to misapply force on the weak Nigerian institutions that we have. Now, ask this question. For someone that has been playing God, in quotes, for such a long time like Alhaji Tinubu, and it is time for a mortal, like maybe Obi, or somebody to put him in his right place. For someone who has wielded so much power in a country like Nigeria, where is that power in the last 6 months for them to apply in our welfare and our security? They cannot do it. They are in power for themselves, for their ego, for their wealth, for their comfort, for their own considerations, not for Nigeria. We are pained about every soul that is killed, that is abducted and killed. We are pained by every naira that is paid as ransom. And we are committed to stopping that. And stopping we will. And I'm telling you, give these people...
as a member of the opposition?
Stopping we will whenever we get the power to do this.
So between now...
yeah, sorry, let me finish. Where is the power? The same kind of power they used in getting Mahmoud Yakubu 4 a.m. to declare them against the provisions of the Constitution. Where is that power? To prop up the exchange rate of Naira, to stop the killings. They don't have it and they will not do it.
Well, you did say that you wanted to move forward because obviously we've established the fact that the election is over. You have grievances against the results, but he's been affirmed by the Supreme Court.
You said methodical. Let's now be methodical. What I want to tell you is that the big picture, we say democracy is government. Well, let me just go. Democracy is not government of the people, for the people, by the people. Democracy is government of the people who have earned their rights, for the people who can protect their constitution, by the people who can exercise civil liberties.
So given what
when they say people, what kind of people? The people who will fold their arms while their constitution is violated, then democracy is not for you. I have said it. It belongs to only those who can practice it with due respect.
So
just hold on.
Right. I was going to ask you what your assessment of the state of democracy is in Nigeria, given what you just said.
It is poor. The people have to wake up to the challenges. For a people that are ready to accept anything, then anything will happen to them. Again, in quotes. You see, a fraction of 1% difference in a political DNA of a society can spell the difference between servitude and freedom. Last year you saw it. Indian farmers sat in a location for 1 year because of one obnoxious government policy until Indian government reversed it. Before the war in Israel, Israelis were in the street for 16 weeks, counting. You can count so many other countries. Nigerians are not yet ready to do this. As I'm speaking to you, the likes of my former friend who would say it's treason, is all that, I am educating Nigerians. Rise up for your rights. No justice of Supreme Court will give you democracy.
Yeah,
you have to go out.
But they're not going to be able to reverse that, are they?
They will.
I mean, they
Nigerians,
can't.
this is
Constitutionally,
no. Constitution and legal. And this is where I differ. With all modesty, okay, I don't mind being alone on this, but I know I'm not breaking any law, and I have never had a criminal record.
So what are you actually calling on the people to do? I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
I'm getting to that.
Sure.
I'm saying,
we're running out of time. So
I'm saying that, and again, this is instructive. I'm saying that we, the people that stood to form the Nigerian Constitution today, it is not over. For we, the people, power is that which remains standing when there is nothing to oppose it. A leader is he who remains followed when there is nobody to challenge. Authority is that which is implemented when there is nothing to stop it. They have the leaders in place now with wielding authority with political power. But power and sovereignty belongs to the Nigerian people, we the people, on whose behalf an elected government is exercising that authority. Now, where the people are dissatisfied with the rulings of their courts, they own Nigeria. Alhaji Tinubu does not own Nigeria. Peter Obi does not own Nigeria.
Yeah, but the
Nigerians on the streets own Nigeria.
But the
and
APC,
listen, I'm getting to the point.
The APC would argue that you don't own Nigeria either. That you have a portion of the electorate that voted for you.
I'm not telling you it is not over. I'm telling you it is not over. For Peter Obi and me, it is over. For we, the people, the Nigerian people, at any point in time, they can take back Nigeria. Especially where their constitution has been violated. Especially where all that the Supreme Court ended up doing was to sustain the unconstitutionality of a certain election.
Let me come in here, because between now and 2027, which is when the next presidential election is due, how do you think things will play out? And what role do you see yourself and Peter Obi and the Labour Party playing in that?
When the Nigerian people rise to defend their constitution, anything can happen. And
well, that sounds quite a bit worrying.
Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, economy, and development. Right now, you just watched the interview that the vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 presidential election in Nigeria, Dr. Datti Baba-Ahmed, the interview he granted to the Arise television. That was just an excerpt from it, or a clip from it, because the interview itself is about 35 minutes long. But he said so much that we have to talk about, because just in this clip alone, there are so much to be talked about. And Datti Baba-Ahmed is a politician that has boldness. He's a man who speaks truth to power. And you know, he has been very silent. And I think perhaps Labour Party told him to keep away until the Supreme Court finish the matter, so that he doesn't say things that could jeopardize their chances. But now, after the Supreme Court had ruled, I think he felt he has the floor now to say his mind about the state of the nation and the emergence of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president of the country. And his confirmation by the Supreme Court, which from what you've seen, he don't seem to agree with the Supreme Court, and it is not new. Majority of Nigerians do not agree with the Supreme Court. If you go to the street and sample opinion of Nigerians, you can guess, you know that majority of Nigerians do not agree with the Supreme Court. That was why there had not been any celebration since Supreme Court confirmed Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because Nigerians are literally indifferent right now. But we're going to get to the nitty-gritty of this interview, because here you can see that he was calling for Nigerians to take back their country. But before we get to that, we have to note that he has literally finished the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration as having done nothing yet. And he was very particular about so many other issues. Some of them we are all very familiar with it. When Charles Aniagolo was talking about the fact that Tinubu has taken some bold steps, there are so many people who believe he has taken some bold steps, including the removal of the fuel subsidy and the flotation of the naira. But Dr. Datti Baba-Ahmed begs to disagree with that. And in his typical bluntness, he said that the only bold step that Tinubu had and his people had ever taken was to shut down the IRIF when they discovered that Peter Obi and the Labour Party were winning the presidential election. And that's not my first time of hearing that. I've heard it from several people. I've heard it from top journalists and all that who have raised that suspicion that the only reason that the IRIF was shut down during the presidential election, in which the National Assembly results were uploaded in real time. The senatorial and House of Reps were uploaded on real time. But presidential election results had hitches, was because Obi was heading for a landslide, and they shut it down. And he was mocking them. That is the only boldness they have ever shown. It is in shutting down the IRIF. And he said that it was also to use the misuse and misapply force, on weakened institutions like the judiciary, so that they could have their way. And he mocked Bola Ahmed Tinubu literally by saying that Bola Ahmed Tinubu all these years have been playing God, and yet he has been running the country now for the past 6 months or thereabout, that there is nothing to show for that wielding of power and influence he has done over the years. And he was asking, where is the power to apply for the welfare of Nigerians? Where is that same power that they put to shut down the IRIF in ensuring security of Nigerians? And he lamented about the fact that 26 soldiers were killed in Niger State and another 8 soldiers killed, all under Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And he was saying that there is nothing boldness about this incident, that it doesn't show any boldness, and it doesn't show that Tinubu has anything to offer different from perhaps what Buhari had offered. And he called out Buhari, that in Tinubu, that they are in power for themselves, for their ego, for their comfort, and for their wealth, and for their own considerations. And if you look at what he said, it is not much different from what the Bloomberg, in their latest analysis of the supplementary budget that Bola Ahmed Tinubu presented to the National Assembly. The Bloomberg was talking about the fact that amidst the hardship in the country, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu budgeted over 6 billion naira to buy SUVs for his office, and they budgeted about 1.6 billion naira to buy SUVs for the office of the First Lady and all that. And this and a yacht which was shut down. They wanted to buy a yacht for the president and all that. And these are the kind of things that apparently Datti Baba-Ahmed is making reference to when they talk about that they are there only for their own comfort and not for the welfare of Nigerians. And he said that that himself and Peter Obi, that they are paying over every soul that is killed, that is abducted. And he said they are paying for every naira that is paid for ransom. And you can see that the government itself appeared aloof about killings in Nigeria, about banditry, about ransom taking and all that. And you have heard stories of what happened to rice farmers in Borno State, where over 30 of them were killed, and many are still missing. Okay, it means that life worth nothing under the administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And Datti Baba-Ahmed is saying, why don't he use that power that he's been wielding in shutting down the INEC IREV to shut down the terrorists, to shut down the killers, to stop the kidnappers. And he now made some statement that obviously Charles Anagolo was not comfortable and when he was saying that they are committed to stopping it, stopping all the killings, stopping all the payment for ransom, stopping all the kidnapping. And he said that they will do it. He said, we will do it. We'll stop them. So the Charles Anagolo now asked him, is he as a member of the opposition? He says, stopping it we will whenever we get power to do this. You know, he was talking about the use of power, that Tinubu has not used the same power that he had used to bring himself to power in stopping the problems of Nigeria. He asks, where is the power? The same kind of power they use in getting Mahmoud Yakubu to come out by 4 a.m. to declare them against the provisions of the Constitution. Say, where is that power to prop up the exchange rate of the Naira, to stop the killings in Nigeria? Say, they don't have it, and they will not do it. He asked the question and he's concluded that they will not do it. That power, that they had it only to manipulate election, but not to be able to fix the country. That's what he was saying. And then he moved into the issue of the power of the people, the people's power. He talked about democracy, that democracy is the classical definition of democracy, government of the people, for the people, and by the people. He said that is no longer attainable because democracy is about those who are ready to earn it. That democracy is not served a la carte, literally. That those who will enjoy democracy must be ready to protect their constitution. They should be able to protect their civil liberties. He said, that's the kind of thing that the society needs, those who can be ready to protect their right, protect their constitution, and protect their civil liberties. He said that the people who fold their arms while their constitution is violated, they cannot claim that what they have is democracy. He said that for such people, democracy is not for you. He said that democracy belongs to those who can practice it with due respect. Those who can practice it. And when Chancellor Nagolo asked him about the state of democracy in Nigeria, he said it's very poor. And he said that the people have to wake up to the challenges. He said that for people to accept anything, then anything can happen to them. He made reference to what happened in India. He said for a year, Indian farmers sat in a certain location in India, seeking for a change in policy. And they were staying in that particular spot for 1 year until the Indian government changed the obnoxious laws that the Indian farmers was fighting against. And the sitting at that particular spot stopped. And he now talk about what happened in Israel too. He said before this Israel-Hamas war, that some Israelis were in the street for 16 weeks because they wanted a change in their country. So he was saying that there are so many countries like that where people have shown determination for change. He said that Nigerians are not yet ready. He said that Nigerians are not yet ready. But he is educating Nigerians to rise up for their rights. And he was emphatic that no justice of the Supreme Court will give them democracy. Because already people feel that with the Supreme Court verdict, it has brought a closure to the matters of the election. But Datti Baba-Ahmed is saying no. He said no justice of Supreme Court will give anyone democracy, because constitutional and legally, that is where he differs from so many other people. And he said that he doesn't mind being alone. He was talking about people not accepting the situation. People need to rise up and take back their country. And he said that, people can say anything they like. Some people can even feel that this is treasonable, but he doesn't consider it so. He's educating the people to understand their rights, that their rights supersedes whatever the Supreme Court says, in the sense that the power of the people, the power of the Constitution comes from the people. It is the people that gave Constitution relevance. And, as he was saying all this, you can see that Charles Nagolo was a kind of not flowing with him. And he said, what are you calling on people to do? He said he's calling on them to stand by and defend their constitution, to defend the Nigerian constitution. So he was basically calling on Nigerians to take over the mantle of quest for a new Nigeria. He said that matter has already slipped out of their hands, himself and Peter Obi and the others. It is now left for the Nigerian people, if they are ready to take whatever comes their way. But they should also realize that power and sovereignty belongs to the people, and that the authority of the people is far higher than any other authority in the country. And he said that wherever that the people are not satisfied with the government or with the ruling of the courts, they should be able to let their position be known, because they are the ones that own Nigeria. Nigeria does not belong to Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It does not belong to Peter Obi. It does not belong to anyone. He said it belongs to ordinary Nigerians, the Nigerian people on the street. He said, for P2B and I, it is over. But for we, the Nigerian people, as a collective, it is not over. And he then went on to say that at any time, any point in time, Nigerians can take back their country, especially where the Constitution, their Constitution, has been violated, especially where all that the Supreme Court ended up doing, according to him, was to sustain the unconstitutionality of a certain election. Now, Aniagolu wanted to be clarified on this matter. He said, but between now and 2007, which is when the next presidential election is due, how do you think things will play out? And what role do you see yourself and Peter Obi and Labour Party playing? And Datti Baba-Ahmed didn't want to have anything to do with that question. He told, it was point blank, he said, when the Nigerian people rise to defend their constitution, anything can happen. And, Charles Aniagolu said that this sound quite worryingly and ominous. He said, well, he said the country is already, if you watch the whole of the video, he said the country is already in a worryingly situation. That when Nigerians rise, everybody is saying that when Nigerians rise, when they are fed up with the violation of their constitution, they don't have to wait until 2027, apparently, before they take back their country. He said Nigerian people, they can rise at any time to defend their constitution. And you can see that the man was bold, he was very careful, he knows what he was saying, and he knows what he came out to say. And he was emphatic, just like his principal, Peter Obi, but he was much more forceful than Peter Obi in saying that whatever the Supreme Court did was an enthronement of unconstitutional government. And in fact, if you watch the whole video, you see where he was talking about the fact that there are several times in Nigerian history those who have led the country outside the constitution. Okay, but the summary of the whole thing is that he is insisting that it is not over until it is over. He is insisting that the Supreme Court has not the final say on who won the 2023 presidential election, that it is the people that should determine, because it is the people's constitution that was violated in the enthronement of the present government. He was emphatic on that. He was hammering on it. He kept on insisting that while Tinubu had been sworn in, is running the country, the process that brought him to power was unconstitutional. That is what he was saying. That is the summary of it all. And he's ready to defend his position at any time. But what you cannot take away from him is that he has the boldness to say it. He has the boldness to assert his position, and he has the right to say what he said, in the sense that he has the freedom of expression. And other people can counter him, but he has made his position very clear. And the ball is now in the court of Nigerians, according to how he put it here, because he said that it is now for them to either accept whatever happens to them or change it. Because you can see in his analysis of democracy, he said if you are able to take anything, then you are ready to have anything that happens to you. But he is saying that Nigerians should rise and take back their country and defend their constitution. That is the only way to go. That is the solution to Nigeria's problem. And he was emphatic about it, that the solution is not from the Supreme Court. The solution is from where the power of sovereignty comes from, the people. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you are not yet subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel. Hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, Google will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.